Part accent.
Of course.
See ya.
The salamander
Wanna
waves
be
at
ya.
the salamander waves at both of us, backstepping his way to the front door, tripping over a rock.
Let me come around, ya. Feels wrong to be looking up to ya. Like the natural order of the universe is messed up.
If you say so, be my guest.
Great.
Leo quickly pushes himself away from the window, darting off around the house. Here we go. Leo steps into what used to be, into what was my old living room, his eyes on his phone. I raise an eyebrow towards him. Something up?
Pop wants me in the shop in Baton an hour from now, even though it's my day off. Why?
What the hell? I guess labor laws don't apply when it's family.
Yeah, fuck it. You know me, I'd choose spending time with you if it meant getting chewed out by my parentals any day.
He shoves his phone in his pocket, smiling down at me all the while. He does enjoy that height difference, doesn't he? Something in the back of my mind seems to whisper, not as tall as Flynn, though. Though I quickly shove that thought aside. Leo peers around, touching the faded green wood paneling that surrounds the room.
I remember the first time I was in here, back during Halloween of 2000. Your mom invited me over. I didn't speak a bit of English, and didn't have no damn costume. But the parents thought we were friends, so I got ushered in here. Your mom cut up one of the old bed sheets and made me this ghost-looking outfit.
Oh, jeez, I remember that. I threw a little tantrum because I apparently liked those sheets. Leo crosses his arms, grinning as he stares at the spot in the corner of the room.
My Hispanic ass didn't know what the hell you guys were doing to me.
I start snickering some.
I thought it was a ritual or something to steal my soul. I don't know. That was right around the time I was learning about the devil and shit. It was bad juju to me, all of it.
He makes a little motion of crossing himself. Leo's a complete atheist nowadays, but he still has that whole cultural Catholicism ingrained in him. Oh my god, I need to find some pictures of us from back then sometime. I had the biggest buck teeth, so I wanted to be a rabbit. I was too young to understand the speciest implications of that idea. Leo chuckles heartily, kicking an errant piece of wood out of the way.
What did you end up being? I forget.
I think I was a knight? Or a wizard? It might have been in 2001.
Oh man, 2001. Everyone around was a soldier or commando that year because of the whole terrorist stuff. And I dressed up as a
pizza! Leo laughs, wagging his finger at me and nodding.
pizza.
That was the best costume.
I could barely move.
He kept falling over.
I didn't fall over, Chula. I kept getting pushed over by...
Leo's cheery demeanor sombers some, and he exhales. I remember who kept pushing him over as well. We're quiet for a time, Leo wiping some dust off the bottoms of his feet. I'd, offer you a seat if this place still had, well, furniture. He waves dismissively at the offer before beginning to wring his paws together. It was always really obvious when Leo was tense or nervous growing up, His shoulders would be raised up high. His tail had a slight curl to it. Right now, he looks just like that. Leo? Leo opens his mouth as if to say something, but doesn't. Instead, he just turns, looking back towards the corner. Leo, is everything alright?
What happened to you, Chase?
The question takes me off guard. I was expecting the worst, but the general nature of it has me confused. What? He turns, looking over his shoulder.
Why are you doing this? Did I do something serious, like Otter? Tell me now, please.
I don't understand. You haven't done anything wrong. Besides busting a Flynn's place and assault him, of course. I'll keep that to myself for now.
I know what you're doing. And you know I know what you're doing. I'm not Doom, you know. I know I'm not. Everything that we've had problems with in the past was cause of miscommunication shit. Nothing I say is as smart as Jenna or TJ or phony as Carl and Flynn. I gotta translate everything in my head so it's just slower. Talking to me is hard, yeah, I get that. Just fucking try for me, please. Honest, like, too.
He looks at me, his chest rising and falling with some quickened pace. I slowly step to the side, resting my back against the wall and sliding down to a sitting position. I sit cross-legged and stare at the gap between my legs. You're not hard to talk with. I am.
Just say it.
Without thinking, I do. I had sex with Flynn. And so have you. I hear Leo take a step forward, then stop.
He told you?
Yeah, to get me mad. We're not on the best of terms right now, Leo.
It was after you left for college. I swear on my neck.
A silence falls between us. It feels like Leo is practically leering over me, but I can't muster the courage to look up. Have you had others?
Yes, but nothing ever felt the same as... You know. I'm not like Flynn. I can't go to that place outside of town and just let loose. He knows. You know, I tried that, and it felt so wrong and fucked up. It's not the same. What's the point of doing that shit if it's not with your love, you know? And I'm not talking about that whole cultural, religious murder where you gotta marry and all that. Because I know how Flynn ticks, and I know how I tick. It's completely different, yeah?
I hear the floorboards creak beneath his feet, the bull shifting his weight from foot to foot.
I just thought you were like me in that sort of way. For Flynn, this is nothing. This is just another notch on the wall.
I cross my arms over my chest tightly, feeling cold sweat on my neck.
You show up for the first time in years, and it's like you don't want nothing to do with me. I get it, you know? I'm good at sports stuff and core stuff, and none of you gave a shit about any of that. And that was fine. Just roll your eyes at Leo. I just liked having my friends around. All of them. but especially you.
Another pause.
You are like family. Here, you can't just flick a switch and stop being family. Growing up with the shit we dealt with.
Leo, you've got your real family.
And you know what they always ask about? You!
Well, you've got Flynn and Carl still.
Flynn's... you know how Flynn is? And Carl? He's not doing too hot. I don't know how long he'll last.
Long he'll last? What the hell are you talking about?
I don't know, Otter. Just look at him sometime. Really look at him and his whole...
Leo trails off into a long sigh.
You all left and it was never the same. So I pretend. I remember all the stuff you used to say, even the naggy beats. I imagine you're there with me at work, talking to me while I'm fixing cars. I pretend I'm teaching you about the basics, like changing oil or replacing headlights. I know it's not riveting stuff, but it's all good because you love me and I love you too. Then I drive home listening to whatever is on the radio and I imagine you reacting to it. Groaning every time the word truck is mentioned in a country song or making some snide-ass remark at the political ads. And when I get home, I go online. And like, there's this pulling in my chest, like a thread, you know? I click on this social media shit and it's you, the real you. And you're different. You're wearing new shirts, hanging out with new friends, drinking fancy courage beers. And it feels like I'm losing you all over again. So I just avoid it. I pretend. I pretend that we're drinking together on the patio as the sun goes down. I pretend that you're watching me play my games. And I pretend at night that my pillow I've got my arms are wrapped around is you. Making your little irk noises when you do, making your little irk noises you do when I ruffle your head fur or squeeze you.
Leo chuckles bittersweetly, the gravity of his words seeming to take hold now that he's actually said them out loud. Jesus, Leo.
A week ago you showed up outside my window. The sky was red. You said, hey.
Leo, what are you talking about?
Why were you there, Chess?
His tone is strange, almost without inflection. Leo, I don't know what you mean. I wasn't here last week. Next thing I know, he's stepping closer to me. He stops, then lowers himself into a sitting position against the wall. The wolf's arms stretch around my torso, pulling me against his side. Leo is...
He's having an episode, dude.
He is not moving on at all and mourning the death of his relationship.
It's actually because they had the same conversation in Jenna's route, and some weirder shit was happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. He's not moving on at all. I think hugging him in this case would be very wrong, but it would probably be the safer thing to do in the short term. But do nothing, you don't really want to. But doing nothing is more honest because it's like, dude, we're done. I just didn't actually communicate this to you because I'm a dickhead.
Or he's in shock.
Oh, it's been years. I think. Can people stay in shock for? Well, are you talking about?
I mean,
Chase
being
in
told all
shock?
this stuff, putting them in shock. Like, what the fuck did I just hear?
Oh, so Chase might be in shock.
We could have him be in shock.
Just
But I
like
mean,
hug
as
him.
you said, the safer option is to hug him.
Yeah. So we are alone in a dilapidated house with apparently a loose door against a water heater that Leo could probably swing as a weapon, like a fucking Tauren from World of Warcraft.
I mean, it's the whole thing of like, if Leo had moved on, things would be better for him.
Maybe. I mean, it is shitty Echo. It is falling apart and continuing to fall apart.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna go with just do nothing and be like, dude,
Same.
if someone told me that, I would be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's,
Something's really wrong with Leo. As different as he says I am, something is truly different with him. I keep my paws in my lap. He puts more weight on me and I have to prop myself up to keep from falling over. He's so heavy now. I hear him clearing his throat.
things aren't great here, Chula. I was trying to act like they were, but you know now. I just know if you were here, I could protect you and things would be better.
Leo, that might not be true. They don't need protecting. Leo says nothing. The minutes pass. I can hear TJ talking excitedly about something out in the backyard with Jenna, chiming in occasionally. Finally, Leo pulls back. He looks at me as if about to ask a question, but seemingly decides he doesn't want to know the answer.
So, this is pretty something. Yeah?
I rub my paw against my forehead. Not as pretty something as your fake pillow, me pillow
Fake me
you
pillow.
sleep at night.
That is pretty something as your fake me pillow.
I expect Leo to laugh at that, but he just peers at me with this sort of melancholy smile.
Yeah.
He pushes himself to his feet, dusting off the back of his pants.
Let me know if you need any help with the project or anything. I'll be around.
Okay, but hey, his tail perks up some. The wolf turning to look down at me. You should see somebody. I mean, about what you just told me.
It never worked for you, Otter.
I sigh. Yeah, but it could for you. Leo shrugs.
Maybe. I'll see you later.
He gives me his best reassuring smile before heading outward, running his paws along the walls as he leaves. After a while, I stand as well. I notice something odd sitting on top of the water heater.
Spider!
Curious, I pick it up. It's a huge-ass spider.
Oh no, the fucking...
Oh. I never knew Mom framed this. This is from high school, I think. Senior year? She always wanted a picture of the two of us. I always thought it was kind of weird how okay my parents were with us being together. I remember after they found out I was gay, I thought that things would be ruined and I wouldn't be, I don't know, normal. Then they sent me a voicemail saying that they loved me and that it didn't really matter. Your happiness is priority number one. I wonder if they forgot this during the move. Though I guess it's kind of a weird picture. I wouldn't be surprised if they left on purpose. I haven't talked to them much lately. I should go. I step outside. The air is still kind of hazy, and the smell of hot dogs is pretty palpable. I look over across the yard. TJ and Jenna are sitting at the table. TJ's munching on his third helping of cut-up hot dogs, while Jenna sits on top with her feet hanging off the side. It's kind of funny how small she is. She never grew up past age 13. My mind drifts back to the other Fennecs in the smoke room. They all kind of had that youthful appearance to them. I wonder if that's part of the appeal. I'm surprised you were so comfortable talking around in there. I glance over my shoulder, looking back at the weather-worn house. Huh? Why? The spiders. You're still afraid of them, right? I had been trying not to think about that whole time, actually. It felt like there were lots of them in the house, even when I lived in there. And that was with my parents bomb-bugging the place every month. I resist the urge to reach down and rub my feet in case there were any walking around in my fur. Not, like, deathly. I cross my arms over my chest, tugging some at the fabric of my shirt. Right, of course. TJ snickers some. Jenna pulls out her phone, beginning to tap away at the digital keypad. By the way, I found something else that might help you with your project. Oh? It's in my purse. Could you grab it?
Oh,
sure.
Jenny, bitch.
What is it? Jenna doesn't answer, continuing to text. TJ, meanwhile, seems to be grinning at his empty ketchup-covered plate. Jenna? I move over to the purse, unbuttoning the main flap. I've always been a bit wary of going through girls' purses for obvious reasons. The first thing I notice is a folded piece of paper with Chase written in capital letters on top. It looks like there's something wedged inside of it, as well. Curious, I pull back the top of the paper and feel something fuzzy against my paw pads. Then a bristling sensation. Thin, prodding things tickle the tips of my fingers. I squeeze one and yank it up. Dangling before me is an orange and black tarantula, its limbs bouncing in the sudden pull of force. Jesus, fuck! I toss it down on the dirt. It's seeming to bounce right back up and land sideways on my foot. I scramble back, kicking at it with as much force as I can muster. Shit! My chest heaves and I feel my heart my heart is about to burst from my chest. The tarantula doesn't move, and that's when I realize TJ and Jenna are grinning at me. I also feel the sharp pain in my chest, and then everything starts to go dark. Just has a heart attack.
I roll around in pain. Everything starts going dark. Jenna's expression goes from laughter to horror as she's filming the very crime that killed me. And the realization she will never become the psychologist researcher she wants to be.
So what's your reason for wanting to go to grad school? Well, I accidentally killed one of my best friends, and now I want to be a researcher.
To figure out what the fuck is wrong with me.
You see, he went to this place that exploits my people. So, it's all fun and games until someone has a heart attack.
Because their phobia was practically thrown on top of them.
Jenna has her phone pointed in my direction. Jesus. She's filming this.
Language! It's just rubber, Chase!
That! I point at the limp, 8-legged thing that's now 3 yards away, stuck in a patch of goat head brambles. That is not funny! Actually, it is.
No, I'm sorry, Chase. Ha! It was Jenna's idea. It was 99 cents at that gas station we stopped at back in Two Canyons.
Ugh. No wonder you two wouldn't let me see what you bought. Did you guys actually have anything for me? I mean, regarding my project? TJ begins to look even more guilty. Jenna sets her phone down and goes about reclasping her purse. Not really, Chase. As you said, there wasn't much information about the 1877 happenings. Most search results directed us towards dubious ghost hunting websites. With no source veracity that could be utilized in a formal report. Well, I sigh, stilling my swaying tail, and feeling calm once again. Was there anything that could be used in a non-formal report? The Finnick cocks her head, her eyes seeming to look right through me as she thinks, before meeting my gaze once more. What do you want to know more about? The UFOs spotted over Echo Canyon by a group of night hikers? The Meseta ghost woman who wanders along the edges of the reservation, seducing men before impaling them on the branches of the mesquite tree? Or perhaps the Mothman who apparently has been seen driving a semi-truck down Route 93 at midnight.
Maybe he needed a side job? The economy has been tough lately.
I let out an exasperated noise. Okay, I get your point. Although there were lots of mentions of the riots here. That includes the happenings of 1915, as well as some other unsourced stuff about violence after World War II. Just a general perception that we were all a bunch of desert malcontents living in some sort of Sodom and Gomorrah style situation for a century. Sounds about right. We even had a famous brothel that served all the miners in the area.
A brothel?
I look at TJ, who's frowning acknowledgingly. Does he really not know? It's a place where they make broth and other types of soup.
I know what a brothel is.
Jenna merely smirks and shakes her head. It was called the smoke room. Wait, what? I tense up and they seem to notice.
Jace, is something wrong?
The smoke room.
Yeah?
That still exists. I was there last night. You went to a brothel last night? Jenna says this less as a question and more as a deadpan matter of fact.
What?
No, it was that bar that Flynn went to. It's right by the casino. There's no sign for it or anything. It's like some sort of gay bar. A gay bar? In this country? In this county? At least that's what it seemed like it was. I shrug, trying to phrase this as carefully as I can without going into too much details. Everything smelled like cigarettes, and there was this really shady bar, this really shady back room that they called the smoke room. That's... Jenna presses her knuckle to her lip, seemingly in thought. She glances up towards me after a moment. Interesting. With that look, I regret bringing it up already. Jenna seems to be maintaining this sort of intrigued expression. I begin bracing for any follow-up questions.
What sort of music did they play there?
Like...
Gay music.
like...
Yeah.
Surprisingly, TJ is the first to speak.
Music.
Yeah, the music there was kind of smoky,
Smoke music.
I don't see any sign of judgment on his face either. Just genuine curiosity. Oh, it was kind of weird, actually. It was just sort of droning, bassy synth stuff.
Really?
Yeah, never heard anything like it. It was kind of loud, too. I'm not sure why you're asking. It's TJ's turn to shrug.
Just curious.
Yeah, it also sounded like... Okay.
So, it was a rave.
So... You went to a gay bar with Flynn, named after an old famous brothel? I exhale, resting my paws on the edge of the table. It's not like that. Like what? Daxton, Carl, and I followed him after he left us in the middle of hanging out last night. But he sort of, I think he was trying to invite me to go along with him in his own sort of way. He left his phone behind with just one text message on it with the address. I think he wanted to see if I was interested enough to snoop through his phone instead of outright inviting me. It's hard to explain. Oh no, I understand completely. That sounds quite like Flynn. Very non-committal, and giving himself something that he can hold against you, if need be, to protect himself by having any semblance of vulnerability. From having any semblance of vulnerability. Jenna rubs the bridge of her small nose, still seemingly frustrated with Flynn's behavior. She reaches down, picking up a paper plate from beside her, and shoves it into a plastic bag. I'm ready to head back to the motel. Chase, are you coming? Oh, sure. TJ begins cleaning up as well, moving to drag the picnic table and back into the appropriate yard. I help. I sit cross-legged on the edge of the bed with a notebook in my lap. I'm sort of half planning out my script and half kicking myself for not doing this preliminary stuff earlier. I'm also kicking myself for not getting any scans of the photos and documents I found at City Hall. The B-roll I've got doesn't quite cut it. Having actual historical papers with pictures of Echo inhabitants that aren't available online might look good for my portfolio. At least that's what Jenna said. I'm gonna doubt they're open on Saturday, so I'd have to talk to Flynn. And Flynn still wants me to assist him with his whole interrogation he has planned. Or at least stay out of the way. For now, I just want to focus on my project. Currently, Tina is tapping away at her laptop on her side of the room. Although she seems more distracted than she was at the beginning of this trip. TJ has the TV on some behind-the-album rock music history show he's pretty engrossed in from the looks of it. He lays beside me, his back propped up by pillows. After a few more scribblings for my outro, I toss aside my notebook and slink over to the other side of the room. I take a few packets of candy egg oatmeal that we've got about 20 of and empty them into one of complimentary styrofoam bowls on the table. He empties them into one of the complimentary styrofoam. I know it's for kids, but I've always kind of liked this stuff. I'm a sucker for anything that's bland as hell with the tiniest bit of sweet add-ins, like oat bran cereal with dehydrated marshmallow bits. I fill the bowl with water, about a centimeter high, higher than the top of the oatmeal. A little bit of maple cinnamon dust rises up from the mixture. Hopefully this pack isn't too old. I didn't check the expiration date before grabbing it from my dorm room. I bring the mixture to the microwave and set it for 1 minute. On the TV, some raccoon is talking about how their music videos went viral back in 2006, and how the fame went to his bandmate's head. It's weird to think that 2006 was nearly 10 years ago at this point. I remember watching shows like this with my mom as a kid, and they were always about hair metal bands in the 80s and 90s. Each episode was full of grainy old pack film photographs of the alleged happier days of the focused superstar. It has me thinking about how much stuff like that there is from my childhood. There's nearly a gig of videos on my old laptop, ranging from home movies, machinima, to class projects I did with the group. Man, machinima, that is definitely a term that's not really used that much anymore, if I remember correctly.
I'm surprised they actually got it in here with them making money from this. Holy shit. Angry video game nerd, nostalgia critic.
Yeah,
Bam.
all those. Plus,
I think DSP was actually part of that too, for a little bit, right?
I think he was.
Mr. Seal?
Yeah, he has a tendency to join groups like that and then get kicked out of them when they realize, what he is. Plus, all my
human seal.
Plus, all my social media posts are still there. It's not like these days were faded memories on a sepia-tinted photo roll picture. They're right there in full 10:720p aspect ratio. A few clicks away. Maybe that's why I don't think about Echo with as much as nostalgia as someone like TJ or, well, Leo, for sure. Speaking of, I checked my phone a little while ago. He hasn't texted me. The microwave beeps and I take the oatmeal out. The directions say to leave it in for 2 to 2.5 minutes. That always seems like overkill. I like it a bit soupy.
I'm gonna take a shower. You guys want anything from the shower?
I blink. What? TJ stares at us blankly. Do we want anything from the shower? Jenna?
You want some shampoo?
Do you want some hand
Do you want some
soap? Do
bath water?
you
You
need
can
to
sell online.
Do you need to
Here's
pee?
eBay say.
Do you need to take a dump? Like, do you also need to take a shower?
I might have some hair that's gonna bundle up at the drain. You want that?
Jenna, after a couple of seconds, looks up from her laptops at the link. TJ? He looks as if he's come to some realization, then quickly covers his face with his paw.
I meant... Forget I said the second part.
I shift awkwardly, bowl of oatmeal in paw.
I didn't get much sleep last night.
Jenna sighs. It's okay, neither did I. I didn't wake you guys when I got in, did I? No, we were already pretty much awake.
That man shouting in the parking lot was making me uneasy.
I didn't hear any of that. Jenna lowers the top of her laptop some, though not closing it all the way. Well, it started when you came back from the smoke room, presumably, and started screaming in the... Just Chase. Ah!
Flynn!
He falls to his knees. Flynn! It all started a little before midnight. You hadn't arrived yet.
It sounded like he was walking all around the motel. He even screamed at our window.
Was he yelling anything specific?
No, he was just shouting. I heard a few words here and there, but never like any full sentences or anything. He just sounded really, really mad. Or sad. I almost went out to hug him.
TJ pauses, looking at the bowl I'm holding.
Or scared. I don't know. I wonder if that was Duke. Like, who... Part of me kind of wanted to call Leo. I'm kind of like wondering, who could that have been? Like, which one of the characters that we've seen so far?
Well, I mean, if it was Brian or Leo, you'd probably notice. It says probably Duke.
Duke seems more like...
Or that other guy.
Duke seems more... Clint?
Yeah, it could be Clint.
Could be Clint. You sound high.
I mean, he is a meth head. So, I mean, meth heads, when they're on meth, they just do all kinds of crazy shit. So, like, their inhibition goes completely out the window.
Now, there's a few other characters that you haven't met yet. There's one named Micah who's a bat. He's in Jenna's route. And it could be him.
Yeah, maybe.
Because I think around this time he's supposed to have gotten back. But he's also into drugs. Not the hard shit, though, just marijuana. So it's probably more likely Duke.
If it's screaming, it's not marijuana. They don't really go out there and scream at things. You're thinking more stimulants and marijuana. Yeah, you're thinking stimulants. Marijuana is a depressant.
Yeah. So, yeah, my money's on Duke was one screaming. Because who the fuck would go out in the middle of nowhere just to scream?
What do you think people go out in the middle of nowhere?
I don't know. I thought this was a ghost town. She went to a ghost town to scream. You're gonna have green ghosts pouring out of the side of a ship at your ass, man. It'd be like fucking Lord of the Rings.
Just imagining someone just like rowboats out to the middle of Lake Emma or whatever it is, and then
fuck, shit, fuck. Just loses their mind. Stomps around the boat until it tips over, and they're screwed about that. Like Emma said, cool off.
Yeah, so it just rows out to the middle of Lake Emma, and then you just hear, Jula! I can't help but smile a bit at that. Really? Wow.
I didn't really.
Leo the Protector. I can't believe after all this time, TJ still sees Leo that way. I called the police, but they said they'd send a patrol car, but I never saw one show up. He eventually just left, a little before you showed up, actually. Feels like everyone's on drugs in this town now. Now? Leo. Jenna retorts, looking at me with a raised brow. Well, I mean, it wasn't always this strange, was it? Even back growing up. I'd still wager that at least half the third of the population was on heroin or worse. It comes up with the territory. But I will say, I do somewhat agree with you. Echo depopulated by around 100 people since I was born. That in itself is the other 2/3 of the population. Those that remained didn't have the same level of general township community that we once had. What little that it was. DJ nods, rubbing at his wrists and looking toward the drape-covered window facing the parking lot.
I remember when we used to have our own grocery store. Oh, speaking of, we ate at the diner after the hike yesterday. Julian works there now as a busboy. You remember him, right?
I think for a moment, I hear the echo of something, a catchphrase he used to use all the time in high school. Well, here we are. I was hoping you'd remember it, but that's okay.
Well, here we are. That was hilarious. I completely forgot.
Was he the green reptile kid who peed himself in AP Lit? TJ looks a little aghast.
What? No!
Then I don't know him. That was Cody. Wait, the Cody you dated? Jenna makes a slightly disgusted noise, shaking her head. You're thinking of upstate Cody.
I never got to meet him.
Yes, well... Jenna lets out a little puff of air, pushing up her laptop screen again, and typing something. Neither did I. She stops for a moment, turning to look at me. May I have some of that? My oatmeal? Sure. I hand her the still warm styrofoam bowl with a spoon. Damn it, I wanted that. You said you have a packet of like 20. Just make yourself another one.
Yeah.
And of course she's digging out all the sugar dinosaur eggs first.
So, right. What was I saying? Oh, yeah! Julian was telling us that the diner will probably end up closing down at the end of this year. Maybe next if they're lucky. That's like the last business in town besides the motel.
The last legitimate business, you mean? I see Jenna nod before taking another bite of my oatmeal. It's no wonder that people act weird. Even Leo, Carl, and definitely Flynn are different. Did you guys notice jaundice again after what happened on the road? TJ nods uneasily. The Link's beginning to busy himself gathering up a fresh set of clothes as he imagines, too much to his horror, Jenna peeing on the ground right in front of him.
I asked her if she was okay or needed any help, and she said she was fine. Great, even. But she looked really bad.
Did she finish digging those totally holes that are like 6 foot deep in the ground behind her house? TJ picks up some red pajama pants that have faded little Christmas ornament symbols stitched in around the bottoms and pine tree decals on the waist. He also, a bit more discreetly, grabs a pair of bright red underwear and quickly hides them in the folds of the pants. I wonder if he's matching the two intentionally.
And I don't mean like ugly. I mean she was kinda grimy and smelled like raw meat.
Okay, so she did finally take out that one guy that she worked with. She was definitely on something, TJ.
I hope not.
He turns, shuffling himself into the bathroom. The door shuts. You know... Jenna sits up some. I think it was Clint. Jenna is speaking to me, but her eyes are on her laptop. Huh? The man outside that was screaming. At first I thought he had Jeremy with him, and... oh, God... just the thought of that makes me want to get out of this town and not look back. I don't blame you, but... Clint? Judging from popular television growing up, it seems like everyone alive has had a childhood bully. Some of multiple. We had Clint and his little gang of assholes. Jeremy, Micah, hell, even Heather sometimes. The thing is, in a town of 50 people, escaping your bullies is near impossible. That's why you should learn to use a gun. No. Don't take that to... Okay. They're everywhere. They hate you. They hurt you. There's nothing you can do about it. Well, until Leo did something about it. I still remember the squelching noises Clint made as Leo hit him, over and over outside his own trailer. Leo didn't speak any English, and they were all a couple of years older than us. That didn't stop him. I don't know how things would have turned out if he hadn't moved here. The voice, it had a certain cadence to it that reminded me of him. I resigned myself to the notion that Jenna has eaten all of my oatmeal at this point. Moving over to the microwave, I grab another styrofoam bowl and a couple more packets. I can already tell there's not going to be enough of it to really be satisfying. I'm assuming you haven't gone to see Jeremy and the rest of the family either, then? No, and I doubt I will. By the way, how are you doing? I look over my shoulders. She seems to be deciding on a font for whatever she's typing away at. Catching my glance, he meets my gaze for just a moment. And I don't mean in general. Any sleep issues? And, of course, she changes the topic just like that. Sleep issues, as she calls them for my sake. I pour some water on the oatmeal. No paralysis, just sort of strange, really lucid dreams. I think my subconscious wants me to shave off my goatee. This may be the one time you should listen to the voices in your head. I don't think she likes his goatee. I make the growling...
I don't think she does. I don't think anyone does. I think even Chase is beginning to dislike Chase's goatee at this point.
Man, like, here's the thing. Like, every single... Like, a goatee is one of those things that you have when you're, like, 16 to, like, 20. You still think goatees are cool. And then after a certain point, it's just like, okay, I should just grow in a full beard or go clean shaven. Or maybe have a mustache. I mean, everyone has a goatee for a little bit, and then they eventually get rid of it. It's just how it goes. I make a growling noise that comes out a lot less intimidating than I had intended. Jenna doesn't look up. Wait, Chase. To sound intimidating, the person you're trying to intimidate has to actually feel like they couldn't completely stomp you into the ground. And I'm pretty sure Jenna would have absolutely no problem.
Jenna would pound Chase. She would own his ass.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Jenna would just rip him to pieces. She wouldn't even, like, I'm pretty sure she would beat his ass so badly that, like, eventually she'd stop trying to hurt him and just be toying with him until he decided to give up.
She would be the cat and playing with the mouse.
I don't even think she'd go full power right from the start. I think she'd just be mockingly slapping him around a while.
She'd be like, she'd grab Chase's own shitty little otter hand, start hitting him with it, going, stop necromancing yourself. Stop necromancing yourself.
You see, she'd wait for him to, like, take a swing, and then she'd grab his goatee and pull him to the ground.
I'm going to take this off for you, one hair at a time, every time you swing.
Unless you say my name, little boy.
Say my name. It's not Heisenberg, you gotta guess.
What are the dreams like? I lit out a long exhale, placing the oatmeal in the microwave. I don't know. I think I'm just tired and it's mixing badly with my current mental state. I've been kind of crawling in my skin since I got here. I saw a face behind someone's shoulder that wasn't really there last night. It wasn't something that I thought about much at the time. I was already upset, but the more I dwelled on it, I don't know. I shrug, waving dismissively. When I look at Jenna again, I can see the fur on her neck has lifted a little. Was probably just the angle, though. You alright? Jenna looks back at me. I can tell she's debating on whether or not to tell me something. I wait. Just made me think about when I was a kid. Hadn't thought much about it for years, actually. I pause. Do you want to talk about it? I'm worried I'm about to open up a can of worms. It wasn't traumatizing or anything like that. Well, it was, actually, but it wasn't real. Did you see a face? Yeah, it was a reddish color, flat, too. Whoa. Yeah. It had a body as well, but I can't really remember exactly what it was like. Did you dream it? No, not really a dream. At least, not in the sense that I was asleep when it happened. I'd just see it walking around in broad daylight sometimes. What the hell? Are these, like, real, solid memories? Like it really happened? I don't know. It usually happened when I was sad or angry. Like when Dad was having one of his moments. You mentioned you saw something while you were upset. Reminded me of it. I'd just like to see... I'd just see it walk past the doorway or sit in a closet. Really? What the fuck? It was a really long time ago. Like, when I was 5. I don't want you to think I'm crazy, Chase. I don't. I saw things too. As a kid. I mean, more things. Yeah, I think you told me. I had, and it's something I really don't want to think about right now. I'm pretty sure it's just something my mind made up, because I was under a lot of stress. The brain can make up whatever it wants, really. It's part of the reason I went into the field that I did. I want to help figure these things out. Do you see it anymore? At all? She's quiet for a while. Then shakes her head. No,